You know him from Jurassic Park and also Independence Day, but now Jeff Goldblum has his new show on Disney Plus called The World, according to Jeff Goldblum. And of course, we're going to talk about sneakers first. We're going to see how he learns to unbox, and also he gets his own shoes. This and a lot more at the after show of The World of Jeff Goldblum.
I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, AfterBuzz.
Yeah, hello everybody. How's it going at home and you guys?
So good. Love the show so much. I'm just so excited.
Oh my God.
Talk about it.
Oh God, I don't know where to start, but Jeff Goldblum, he's not just an actor, he's a host himself, right?
He is a host.
He's hilarious. I love him.
He's like the funniest guy I've seen in a while, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But okay, let's start from the beginning. It's not just me in the studio, as you can see, people, right? We also have the beautiful ladies in the house here. We have Maddie Parks.
Hi, I'm Maddie Parks. I can't wait to get started talking about this episode. I love Jeff Goldblum so much.
Oh, he's great. And you told me already that you know someone who also kind of knows him, right?
Yeah, they're good friends.
Ooh, okay.
And I know, so behind the scenes, and like apart from the camera, he's a good guy, and he's the same off camera, on camera. So it makes me like him more because he's so real on the show.
I can totally see that. Thank you so much for mentioning it. I can feel it every second when I'm watching
he's
him.
Real.
But last but not least, obviously, right? We also have Kay Montgomery in the studio, and she says about herself she's the queen of factoids and who loves to see how things are conceived and created.
Yes, that's why this was the perfect episode today about the sneakers. It was awesome.
It is. And we talk a lot more about it because you told me already something that we definitely going to talk about. But we wait a second because we start very, very from the beginning. And the first scene is the sneaker con. The very big scene, right? Where he goes down, and I was like, wow. I mean, guys, what was your first impression when you saw that big hall with these many people in there?
Honestly, I was like, this just looks like a warehouse.
Exactly. Exactly.
I expected more decorations, more something else going on. It was strictly sneakers everywhere.
Right.
Dudes with wads of cash. I shouldn't even say dudes. 13-year-olds apparently with wads of cash ready to drop some serious hundreds and then thousands and then hundreds of thousands of dollars for sneakers.
I mean, Maddie, what did you feel when the kid said he's 13 years old and he said $1,800? I was like, oh my God.
It was like when I went to Comic-Con almost. Right. Like the smaller version in Toronto, but not obviously the San Diego one. But it was crazy. It's like I had no idea that existed.
Right.
So it was really cool to see that. And obviously Jeff Goldblum gets right in there and he's talking to that guy. And, you know, like I just... Wow. I'm at a loss of words. I didn't know that world existed. I've seen the kids line up on Melrose Avenue all over the States and the world. They do that, right? Like just lining up to get their sneakers. But that was so crazy to see everyone in that room. Convention center, basically.
I mean, quick thing, Goldblumers, it's Steph in the booth right now, and Benjamin Schnau did not introduce himself, and I know that the listeners at home want to hear.
That's right. That's right.
The man.
I'm Benjamin Schnau, of course. Oh my God, because I always do that very last, but I'm too late. My name is Benjamin Schnau. I'm an actor living in Los Angeles from Germany. No, I did it. Thank you so much. I'm so sorry. But anyway, we definitely move on to the scene because I still want to talk about it because when I saw that many cash, I was like, what in the world?
Right?
How can you even just walk around with so much cash
in your
pocket?
backpack? That was insane.
I mean, I kind of understand, you know, some people just want to do it like cash. They don't want to have to transfer it to a bank account.
Right, because he didn't trust him.
I know we talk about that scene because that was very, very interesting to me and also very funny because he's talking to the sneakerhead, right? JC Lopez, who's the main guy, very interesting guy, right? And then out of a sudden, this customer comes up and he already has the cash in his hand. And he's like, you know, I just want to pay cash because he's so much against the bank deposit or something like that. And then the guy's saying, can you just turn the camera off for a second? And what does Jeff do? Keep it rolling.
Yeah. He's like, I might be able to help you. I was like, Jeff, if you don't step back, you cannot help in this situation.
It kind of like makes me nervous though, because when people might see the show now, they're gonna be like, "Oh, we're gonna go to this convention, and so many people have cash."
Yeah.
Hopefully, no one gets robbed. Obviously, they probably do security and whatever. But it just, I had no idea this was happening. Like this convention of sneakers, and then if you're a bit of a criminal or a bad person, you might see that and be like, so much cash is flowing around.
I mean, that's crazy. He just bought sneakers for $33,000.
I know.
Just like that.
Just like that.
Anyway, I just wanted to point that out. For me personally, I like to see these sneakers, but that was a lot of money for me personally.
But you know what?
Yeah.
I have a friend that's a sneakerhead.
Right.
And
Okay.
he has a closet. Well, he has kind of a room dedicated in his house.
Right.
And he keeps his sneakers specially sealed in clear glass cases so he can see them all.
Wow.
And he buys like specialty, like every time I see him, I'm like, what pair is that?
Right.
And he's like, well, these are the special editions from Tokyo
Right.
that have the Japanese blossoms on them and nobody had,
Right.
Yeah. He's that kind of guy.
Jack Slade that we're also going to see further down the line.
So he's not spending hundreds of thousands, but he's spending a few, yeah.
Wow.
But it's insane.
I think I missed something.
Those people
here.
are serious. Sneakerheads are serious.
I mean,
Wow.
anyway, it was just interesting to me because Jeff was keeping the camera rolling and the guy was making his business in the bag. And Jeff is just a funny guy, right? He's very, he's improvising. He's just doing what he's doing. And he basically jumps back into it and is just talking to these guys, right? So how do you feel about Jeff Goldblum now being also a host in general? How did you feel about that? The first moment when you saw it.
Yeah. Oh, no. I thought he did a great job. Because like you said, I think he brings a certain level of authenticity.
Yeah.
I'm not super familiar with who he is, but just from those first few interactions at SneakerCon,
Right.
I was like, oh, this is who he is.
Yeah.
Really funny, off the cuff, very authentic,
Right.
very curious and interested.
Right.
Yeah.
I think exactly the same. I feel like he's not even taking himself seriously. That's what I like about him.
He's
I
really
like that.
self-deprecating, which I
Right.
really like. And he's like, doing some things in a satirical kind of voice, and it makes him so funny.
Right.
Like he'll just kind of say a comment and then just be like, say it in, I don't even know how to explain it.
I know what you mean.
It's like he says a funny comment that everyone's thinking like maybe like a negative sort of making fun of someone comment,
right.
but in like a monotone voice.
Yeah.
And he's just naturally really funny and just can talk to someone like that. So he's like the perfect host, I think.
For sure, he always says sneakers.
Yeah, and then he has like a little spin on it, and
was
he's
like,
just so perfect.
It's kind of mysterious, right? That's how he's doing. I was like, I love that. I love that
I
stuff.
thought it was hilarious.
But anyways, coming to the second scene and jumping from the sneaker con right to one of the biggest companies also creating and developing sneakers. I mean, I have to say German company. Sorry, guys, And what's funny and what's really funny
I didn't
to
know
me.
it was a German company.
Oh, you didn't know?
Okay, props
Really?
out.
Oh,
All
you didn't
right.
know? Oh, yeah, I have to
I
tell
didn't know.
everybody now Adidas is a German company, people. Oh, you didn't know?
Nope.
And,
Go
interesting.
Germany.
Is
Oh,
Adidas,
yeah.
is it
Okay.
Adidas or Adidas?
That's and I really respect him even more, Jeff Goldblum, if you can hear it, that you said Adidas because that's the proper way of saying it.
Right.
Sorry, I don't want to blame anyone. You
it was
can do
American,
whatever,
wow.
but a lot of Americans say Adidas. But it's actually Adidas. But, it's the same at the end. But I really appreciated that he just said that. And
Yeah.
honestly, I've been to Adidas in Germany at the headquarters, the very first one.
Wow.
So, but I've never seen what they have in Portland, though. I mean, what was
Right.
your first impression when we see all this technology at a sneaker kind of like wearing a clothing brand in a way? So
Can I tell you I was most impressed by the shell toe Adidas outside. That was like
you see, men don't think about that.
because I was like in the 8th grade and I wanted a pair of shell toe Adidas so bad because they had just like they were really cool and it was like what the breakdancing kids like breakdancing had come back and like that's
right.
what everybody's like. And so I once dated a boy just because he had an Adidas sweatsuit.
No
and
way.
Yeah,
Really?
yeah. That was high school. But just because he had a pair of shell toe Adidas and an Adidas sweatsuit and he could break dance, guys, it was so cute. So to see the giant shell toe Adidas outside, I was like,
Right.
oh my gosh, I love that.
you see,
I love it so much.
see, I should think more like a woman. Seriously, I didn't really see it. I didn't even see it. I was like, I didn't really pay
When you
attention.
stood
to it. That's
outside,
it.
did you
Yeah.
notice there were the giant pair?
No, I
Now
saw
that you
that,
see
but
it.
I just thought it was so cool.
That's crazy. I
good.
love the fact that you dated someone just because they wore Adidas.
Oh yeah,
sweatsuit.
it was ninth. It was ninth grade.
You would still do it. Come
That's
on.
what we're doing.
Oh my God. No, it was crazy to see, the technology that goes along with it, with this, like the woman Elise running
Exactly.
and they have her skeleton up and it's like all the bone movements and everything. I had no idea that went into making the perfect sneaker.
Not at all. And I was even more shocked and surprised positively. But you remember the glasses that he was wearing where you can even see the facial expression and then which tells someone how he feels.
Oh
because
my God, yeah.
That was mind-blowing to me.
Was
because
so fascinating.
And the Paul Francis, the guy working for Adidas, he said something very interesting to me. Athletes, they do what they do, but some of them might not even be able to tell you really how they feel about a shoe that they just see. And I find that very interesting because think about your own life. Sometimes you see something that you love so much, but you have a hard time to describe what you like or don't like.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So, and he's an actor, right? Obviously, for decades. So he puts it on, okay, Jeff, be sad. And boom. And the software is telling him already. How did you like it? I mean, come on.
I mean, on the graph it said, because I wrote it down, fear, anger, engagement, joy, surprise, contentment, and valence.
Right.
So that's crazy. That's like such a big spectrum of things. I would be freaking out, but he like kept it calm. Like he was totally cool putting on the thing and he seemed to enjoy it. Like,
oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He knows he knows exactly what he's doing. What I like about Jeff so much is I think he knows what he's capable of, but he's not showing off. He's not a guy who's really putting it out there that much. He's just doing it, and everyone sees anyway he can do it.
Yeah.
You know, that's what I like about him in general. But I just find that fascinating that athletes, I never heard about that before, have a hard time sometimes to just tell you really how they feel about something.
Yeah. Oh, I think it's all people. I'm reading a Malcolm. Do you guys remember Malcolm Gladwell? Anyway, he's written a ton of books, but one of his first couple of books was one called Blink, and I'm reading it right now. But that whole book, Blink, is about that. Is about how you make a lot of decisions with your subconscious, and you don't even realize it, and you can't even explain it.
Right.
So that was really interesting that he said that. I was like, oh, that's just like Blink. Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Never heard about that. Blink. The book is called Blink?
Blink. Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'll check it out. All right.
Everyone check it out.
Check it out. Check out Blink. You know, buy it now. Do it. She's saying it, right? But coming along, going to Dominic Siembrone. I hope I said it correctly. I think I said it correctly. And he's a legend already, right? I mean, he's doing shoes for LeBron James, Justin Bieber, and all these names, Drake, and we heard a couple of names.
Yeah.
And he's in the business already for 17 years, but he just looks like my age, like 35 max.
Well, he started in high school.
In high school.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I was like, wow, what a story. You start working on something that you like as a kid in high school and you create a huge business out of it. I mean, did you see what did you feel about when you saw him in the first place? How did you feel about Dominic?
I thought the same thing. I was like, wow, he's really young. And I was really excited to kind of get into his brain and see how he creates shoes. I thought that was really interesting. Like, you know, he said he started off, he was just in high school and he painted a pair of his own shoes one day. And then everybody was like, hey, paint mine. And then now he's a customizer, you know, a customizer, cobbler person or whatever.
Yeah.
And the things he was making. I mean, we're talking about the crocodile gold LeBron James.
Just 100,000
shoes he made. I was just like,
goodness.
what is he doing? Those things are insane.
Insane. And then he had that firefly
Right.
in the shoe. I was like, what?
Like the
Yeah,
Hornet,
how you
right?
put it.
Yeah.
The
Oh,
Hornet and the
the not the firefly, the Hornet. And
know.
then I loved Jeff's face when he goes, oh, the Hornet naturally died. And Jeff's just like,
And Jeff was
did
like,
he?
are you sure about that? You know.
That was so funny when he said that. It died of natural causes.
I know.
Like,
It's
what?
like, okay, like perfectly with the wings out.
right. And I'm always laughing because he has this moment when Jeff is always looking into the camera saying,
Yeah, he does a
course. And
deadpan.
then
Yeah.
I love these moments. He's beautiful. But what I found also very interesting that he was asking the question, and we talked about that for a second. Did dinosaurs really exist? And you explained it already to me, and also the audience. You might know I didn't get it.
That was
right.
hilarious.
Okay,
I
if you
loved
don't
that.
mind to explain that phrase, why did he say that again?
Wait, because Ben and I were talking before the show. Ben was like, why would he ask a crazy question? Like, what kind of question was that? And I was like, oh, well, you know, they're flat earthers. And I didn't realize there were people that didn't believe in dinosaurs. And Ben was like, but that's a weird question. I'm like, oh, yeah, but he's Jurassic Park. You know, that's one of his number one movies. So, of course. So I just thought that was so funny because Jeff's face, oh, my gosh. Because he was just like, he wanted to say those people are idiots. That's what, you know, he really wanted to say. He was like, those people are very wrong.
God.
It was so funny. I have never heard a person say they don't believe in dinosaurs. I've heard people say they believe that dinosaurs and people were on the earth at the same time.
Right.
But I've never heard someone say.
But how many people do you think ask him that all the time?
I mean,
Just because he did Jurassic Park.
I know now that you told me that. Now I'm thinking about it. But before I saw Jeff's face and I was like, what is he asking?
That was such a funny moment.
He was too serious for me that I even didn't get it, you know? Anyway, it was my moment, right? But that was very interesting. And also that Jeff Goldblum's family also had this basketball player, right? He's talking about his uncle, right? The brother of his dad was kind of a basketball player and wanted to make it to the NBA, right? That was a very interesting moment. I didn't expect Jeff to talk about his family life even. I don't know if did you guys expect that he would be that open talking about family and stuff?
Yeah, I feel like he's an open guy. He doesn't seem very closed off, and if it has some relation to what the shoes and stuff, why not?
Right. Yeah,
So.
I was just surprised, but maybe just me again. Anyway,
You could tell he was really proud of it though, because
he was.
Yeah,
proud.
he was.
He kept bringing it up, like when they went to play street ball with all those old like Globetrotter people, and like he was like, "Did I tell you guys about my my granddad or whatever?" And everyone's like, "Oh, okay, that's nice."
I mean, jumping right into that scene. Thank you for mentioning that. I just wanted to talk about it. It's so funny when he does the walk, when he's trying to walk that cool with swag. Did you
His
see that?
socks.
I was like,
But the best is, let me tell you something. I don't know, this was like last year, saw this meme and it was like, black people are the best at like hyping you up to do stuff. It's this kid trying to skateboard and these two black women, they just are strangers, but they start to cheer him on.
Right.
I felt like that was like Jeff Goldblum's moment of that.
it was for sure.
Because he was like, what do you guys think about my jacket? And they were like, oh, Jeff,
Yeah.
get it,
Oh my
Jeff.
God,
and he
so
was like, he like moved back and then lifted up and said, what about my socks? Oh, Jeff, don't hurt him with the socks. It was so funny.
And Jeff was like, oh no,
No,
stop
no.
it.
What
stop
should I
it.
do? And they were like, but those aren't basketball shoes.
He was like such a dad, like going in.
know.
Like I love him, but he was like such a dad, like going in and just being like, "Okay, guys," and he had like the high socks, and I was like, with
I
the
love
stripes on it.
That's why I loved
the
him even
outfit.
more, because I was like, I felt like that too. I was like, look, he's like a dad. But then I was like, wait, he can actually play.
Thank you for saying that.
Get
I,
it,
I have to,
Jeff.
I have to
He's
put
got
that
it.
out there. I have to say it. I just Googled him after I watched the first episode. And this guy, Jeff Goldblum, believe it or not, is 67.
Wow.
Yeah,
I was
Yeah,
like,
no.
Wasn't that
damn.
crazy?
I was like, but then the way how he was moving on the basketball court, I was like, wow, you jump around like my age, like a 30-year-old or
Yeah.
something. I was so much respect for someone 67. It's not an age, don't get me wrong, but
But
still.
I know what you mean. Yeah,
he's
that's
fit.
impressive.
Wow.
He's definitely fit.
He's definitely fit. I mean, Jeff, whatever you do, keep doing it, right? And I want to know what you do, but that was amazing.
That was
right?
amazing.
But also talking about these people, and he's playing basketball with them, but then they also have a discussion about, hey, and he's asking them, what do shoes mean to you?
Right.
What do you feel when you see new shoes or someone is wearing a pair of shoes that you've never seen before? And the answer was mind-blowing to me, because the one guy, I think, with it. That's what his name
Oh,
is.
sick with it.
Sick with it.
Yeah,
That-
yeah,
Sick
yeah.
with it. Sick with it. Yo. Okay. So Sick with it said something very interesting to me. He said something like, even if I have a bad day, when I wake up and I don't feel it, if I go out and I go to my team and my coach is bringing up some new uniforms and shoes, I was like, hell yeah, we're going to go out there and smash it. And that's fascinating to me, that sneakers and the uniform or whatever it is, like clothing, can change people's mind to the positive. So how
Yeah.
did you feel about it personally? You know, how do you feel? As women, obviously. I mean, I felt that as a man, but how did you feel about it, you know? Uh-oh, silence.
I don't know.
Maddie,
I don't
come
know
on.
what to say to
Come, Maddie,
that.
say something. Come on.
I mean, I loved it. I mean, 100%.
It was interesting.
Yeah, I totally agree with it. I was like, yeah. I mean, when
Right.
when it's gloomy outside, I want to wear something bright.
Right,
you know,
right,
like I
right.
really like, yeah, I 100% felt that.
Right.
And I love the conversation he had with him. Once again, going back to him being a great coach.
Yeah.
I mean, a great host. I felt like he was able to build rapport so quickly. They had so many great funny moments.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was a good
Yeah.
a good move on their part.
For sure. I feel like
Covering sneakers to have him go and play a street ball game.
you're totally right. I mean, honestly, I know him for decades. We all know him for decades already. He did so many great movies. But what I like about him, and we can see it even more when he's being himself right now in the show, that he has empathy. You know, for me, also an actor myself, empathy is very important to have. on set,
Yeah,
whatever
he
you do,
definitely-
right?
yeah.
But especially as an actor, to connect with pretty much everybody in the room. And I
Yeah.
think he has that, which is something that not everybody has or can learn. Some people just have that given. And
Yeah.
he's one of those guys.
Yeah.
He's so personable.
He's so personal.
So personable.
Right. I mean, he moved on. And that, I mean, I saw that before, right? Jumping to another scene where I feel like I was excited, shocked, and surprised. That was everything, when I saw Jack Slade. Jack Slade is sitting at
That
home.
was
Maybe he has his
crazy.
own apartment or whatever he has. But he is doing YouTube videos and explains, or he's even showing how he's opening boxes to show everybody the new shoe. And at the beginning, I was like, okay. And now, I mean, what else? I mean, but for me, it was like, okay, he's just opening a box. But I mean, how did you feel about that? Is that something so special today that people like to just see somebody on screen who's opening a box?
Yeah,
Yes.
look at all of YouTube. I mean,
Unboxing is
you can
huge.
talk about a game, like the biggest channels on YouTube. You
Right.
can talk about just playing a video game and you have millions of subscribers, you make millions of dollars a year just sitting and talking about a video game. So I'm not surprised this guy can just open up a box and everyone's so fascinated and wants to see the shoe.
Yeah,
It's
I mean-
crazy.
Yeah.
I
You
mean-
know what? I have a kid that's 11,
Right.
and she became obsessed with boxing maybe like 2 years ago when she's like 9.
Right.
Kids opening toys.
Yeah, I saw that.
She would watch
Yeah.
that for hours
right.
and hours. Millions of views. Kids opening toys, even when they know what the toy is. Sometimes they already know what the toy is, but they still watch it. And I think the key was, I thought he did a really good job. And the graphics in this thing are incredible, right? I
Totally.
thought he did a really good job explaining the idea of dopamine and how dopamine peaks.
Yeah.
Not when you get the gift, but before the anticipation before,
Yes,
which is why we
yeah.
love the lead up until Christmas. So him describing the box, talking about I'm going to get this shoe, and then when they finally get it, and then opening it, that excitement.
Right.
I thought he did a good job of explaining that,
Right.
because otherwise unboxing does seem like a kind of a strange thing.
You're totally, I mean, honestly, when I thought about that, when he's explaining it and why people get excited, I kind of understand. And I also get the kind of video game thing. I feel like, of course, video games, I even played video games when I was a kid. So seeing someone who's going crazy online playing a video game, I get that.
Yeah.
But the first moment I just see somebody in front of a camera, like opening a box, it didn't hit me
It's
though.
so bizarre.
It is a little bizarre at the beginning, but then explaining and what
Yeah.
happens in your brain because there's excitement. Oh my God, what is he gonna come up with? What is it, right? I get that. But I also want to know from you guys at home watching right now, and we have the live chat open too, right?
Yeah, we have
do you
the live
any
chat.
anyone talking about
we-
unopened boxes?
So
No,
how
we
many
do not
videos did you
right
watch
now.
of unboxing after that? 6-7 hours? You got sucked in?
I didn't get back to it, but I will. I will. Sorry, Maddie.
We don't
Uh,
have anyone
oh, we don't?
saying anything yet. There's some
Okay.
of you watching, so if you guys want to ask a question, just make a comment. I'm on the live chat, so
Please do.
just tune in to our YouTube channel.
Don't be scared. We're nice people, right? But we definitely want to have your opinion on opening boxes. Please. I definitely want to
Yes.
know what you feel about that. Would you get excited to see someone in front of you opening a box before you know what it is? Let me know. Let us know. But-
Let us know and comment on the YouTube live channel. 'Cause
Exactly.
I'm waiting.
And then, I know, I'm waiting too. I definitely want to know about it because I was like, as I said, different kind of emotions at the same time for me. But coming back to Dominic and Jeff's conversation, and now we're getting almost to the last scene where we see him in the hotel room or wherever he is, and he's receiving his customized shoes. And I was like, and he's opening it because he learned it. He learned how
Yeah.
to open boxes, which is great. And he gets out the shoe. What was your first feeling when you saw his new shoes, customized shoes?
Well, I like him leading up to opening the shoe, actually, or opening the box, because he was so hilarious. He's like,
That's right.
if you don't want to watch this and you don't want to see the outcome, like, just stop watching now. And he's just like, he was hilarious. It was one of like the funniest parts that I wrote down about the show. And he was just, yeah, I'll talk about it in the special segment, but he was hilarious. I love the shoe. It's so particular with what he got that
Right.
like no one would have thought of. satin, all black, like classy, because obviously he's not like out there. But then he mentioned the animal print, and he had the zebra inside.
That's right.
Which was such a nice taste. Like it's like he would have never worn something with a zebra on the outside.
That's right.
I think. And then also, was it the W or the A? It was W that was on it, and that was awesome. Like, how would that guy think of putting that on? Like, he can just pick up on something that means a lot to his clients. That was amazing. I love the show.
I mean, I agree to a certain extent, right? I believe that it was very personalized, the W, because it was the sign of his, like, uncle, right? I totally get it. But, Kay, before I say my opinion, what did you feel when you saw the shoes? What was your first feeling?
Honestly, I expected them to be a little more flashy because my main point of reference for Jeff Goldblum is as a fashion icon.
Oh.
I mean, he's well covered in men's magazine. Esquire GQ covers him all the time because he's a very flashy dresser.
Good point.
And he's not afraid to take a risk. So I was really surprised that the tennis shoes didn't really take a risk.
Right.
They were very sentimental, like you said. The satin, the W, they had a lot of meaningful parts to it. But putting the animal print under the tongue, I was kind of like, oh, but this is Jeff Goldblum, like... He dresses pretty wild.
Right.
I think he could have handled an animal print on the outside of the shoe.
Right.
But still very thoughtful, custom, very, very nice.
I felt the same. I was like, when I first saw the shoes, I was like, kind of boring. That was my first feeling, right? Honestly, that was my first feeling, kind of boring, just black. I mean, I know he's wearing black a lot. We saw that in the episode, right? A lot of black every time. But then also I have to agree with Maddie when I saw what kind of little details they put into the shoe, right? The inside and stuff like that. I can see it. I feel like it was a great combination at the end. Let me put it that way, right? But I also agree that a little bit more flashy would have been a little bit more exciting, I guess, even for myself, because I'm not really also that flashy, but that was, But at the end of the day, I feel like it was a great episode, right? But we also want to talk about what might comes up in the next episode. But before we're going to do it, I would like to hand it over to my colleague Maddie, talking a little bit about the special segment.
Yes. Okay, I'm going to do the special segment on what you guys think was the funniest moment. I was going to say what was the most informative, because obviously we got all the science information or whatever, but Jeff's such a naturally funny guy, so I thought we would talk about his funniest moments.
Nice.
So we'll start with you, Ben.
Oh my God, I don't know where to start. Oh God. There were so many funny moments, but I still have to come back to the sneaker con moment, the camera moment. I mean, come on, guys. That was a crazy moment, right? Okay, we turn it off for a second. Right, keep it I like that because he was really playing with the situation. He knew exactly. He's a smart guy. He's playing it funny, but he knows exactly what's going on. That's the beauty about Jeff Goldblum. He knows exactly what's going on, even if it's serious, but he has a talent for even making it funny when it's serious, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like he did a great job. The camera is still rolling. We see like JC Lopez in the back dealing with $33,000, right? And Jeff is in the front. I don't know what they're doing, but they're doing something. I was like, that was just beautiful. So that's definitely my funny moment.
Okay. What did you think?
I would definitely say when he went and played street ball. And they sick with it was like, I'm sick with it. I'm this person. And then he was like, what would my name be? And I thought it was really funny. Sick with it was like, well, if you were in your prime, I probably would have called you the Fly because he played the Fly in a movie a long time ago. And that was the first Jeff Goldblum movie I had ever seen.
Oh, nice.
And that was so funny because right when he said it, everybody was like, oh, and then he even was like, oh, okay, yeah. I thought that was hilarious. So fun.
That was good.
Everything was so funny to me. I feel like we already talked about it. The shoe surgeon, when he said, "Are dinosaurs real?" I thought that was one of the funniest, the funniest lines. And then Jeff Goldblum was like, like, obviously.
I'm still working on that one.
I really liked his intro. I wasn't expecting him to be. I already know he's like a naturally funny person, but I wasn't expecting him to be so funny on the intro. First 30 seconds of the show when he's like, "I'm a curious cat." He's like saying all this stuff. I was laughing. I was like, He's serious, but he's kind of ridiculous, and I love him for it. So
Right.
that was my highlight, I think.
I mean, yeah, he's a multi-talent person. I think he does also, he's a musician. We talked about that for a second, right? He does music,
Jazz.
comedy, you know,
Yeah.
obviously. So, I mean, this guy is, I think we're going to see a lot more, even like acting wise from him in the future,
Yeah.
right? I think the show is just the beginning of 2020 for him, I guess, right? But yeah, thank you so much, Maddie. I really appreciate it.
Yeah,
and
thank you.
now, okay, what do we have for the news?
We got a little bit of news. So our boy Jeff, I think we have some pictures of him, of his album that's
Okay.
coming out, or that's out now. So he just released an album called I Shouldn't Be Telling You This, and it's with the Mildred Snitzer Orchestra. It's his second album. He has a couple of cool features on it. Fiona Apple, you guys may remember her.
I love
from
her
back in
so
the day.
much.
Oh, of course.
And Miley Cyrus. I thought that was really
Wow.
interesting. That sounds like an interesting combination, huh? Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
So-
going to be really good, I think.
Yeah, so it's his second studio album. It's out right now. You can pick it up.
Nice. How did you listen to it already? Did
No,
you,
I have not.
Or any kind of his songs?
No, I haven't heard any of his
Yeah.
songs yet.
Honestly, I just found out recently, I have to say,
Yeah.
that he is a musician himself. I
Yeah,
didn't know.
same. I didn't know either.
Wow.
I was like, oh, wow, it's his second album? I was like, whoa.
Well, it was
like,
the first one, right?
Yeah, he's right. I was like, he's a
Okay,
multi-talented guy. That's
we gotta
awesome.
buy both albums. Okay, the second one hasn't come out yet, or it just came out?
No, it just came out.
just came
he
out,
actually
okay.
performed on Kimmel like a couple of nights ago.
Okay, awesome.
Okay, so we have to listen to the first and second album
For
before
sure.
we
For sure.
report back to AfterBuzz, and
We
we'll give the audience a little review, I think.
Okay, Maddie, I got this on my list. We're going to do this, right? And guys, please at home, check out the second album of Jeff Goldblum, obviously, right? Check it out. Go online. You can find it everywhere. Yeah. Okay, any more news? Is that what you wanted to talk about?
That's
Yeah.
news, but I just wanted to say
Sure.
before we move on, thank you guys so much for making us the ESPN of talk. We are so grateful to do what we do. We love talking about your favorite shows. We really enjoy super fans coming and checking us out today. We want to ask you to do 3 things. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure to give us a thumbs up. If you're listening on iTunes, give us a 5-star rating. And then no matter where or how you're listening, comment. We love to hear your comments and your feedback. And we just want to say thank you to our founders, Marie Menounos and Kevin Andegaro, for supporting us and creating this space where we can bring you all this great content, and we just love and enjoy it. So
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
We're grateful.
thanks, guys.
Beautifully said. Thank you so much. I
Yeah.
appreciate that. Before we get into predictions, though, I wanted to talk about one specific topic very quickly. I mean, we saw it's a 30-minute show, right?
Yeah.
What did you guys feel about the topics and the way how they showed these 30 minutes? Because you said already something before we started the show, and I definitely wanted to point that out, Kay, because I think it's important to talk about that as well. You felt a little bit like that you told me I would have liked to see how they created even the new shoe for Jeff Goldblum.
Right.
So just describe your feeling about that. Why did you feel like there wasn't enough information? Maybe?
Yeah, I mean, I know it's tough because it's a 30-minute format, right? And he's
Right.
covering a bunch of different subjects, and I think it's awesome that he interviews people and he goes out on the street and all of that kind of stuff. So I don't exactly know where they could have fit it in, but I would have loved to have seen the process of making the sneaker because it's a custom sneaker. I think I've probably seen a shoe made before, like in a factory, but to see this guy custom make a tennis shoe piece by piece, that just would have been dope to see.
Maybe he didn't allow that, though, because he's so exclusive. Like, maybe he didn't want a camera watching him do the process.
That could be possible.
That could be a
Yeah.
possibility.
Yeah.
But I also share what you just said. I feel the same way.
Yeah.
I mean, I was really excited to see, okay, you got all the fabric now. Okay, now what's going to come up next, right? And then boom, jump into the basketball play. But, you know, but still, I mean, overall, I really have to say they really doing a great job, right? I mean, one of the first Disney Plus shows, right? That just started, right? I think they're doing a great job doing these different kind of shows, reality shows. We have also different fictionary shows, which is beautiful to see. But coming to the next episodes, I know they're already online, but I just wanted to ask you overall, what would you like to see if you had the option to talk to Jeff and ask him, hey, could you talk about that, please? What would you like to see? Ha, you didn't expect
That's
that.
good.
huh?
I
That's a
didn't
good one.
expect that question.
Just your personal feeling, the first feeling. What would you always wanted to know about?
I would like to see, I don't know if it's a topic he would cover because he's doing, sort of shoes and, we see next episode it says ice cream and all these like different topics like that. I would like to see more of like behind the scenes of his life, not necessarily like personal, but maybe more like movie business, how something works in that, and then he could like take us behind stage. And he's a comedian kind of, and or maybe he can take us behind the scenes of Jurassic Park, and we can see if dinosaurs are actually real.
I love that. That's a good
I don't know,
one. That's
like something like that.
She got it, guys.
That
That's
he
a
would
good
know.
One. Thank you. Appreciate that.
You know what? I mean, like I said, I come to him I see him as a fashion icon.
Right.
So I would love to see his closet because I feel like he has like you know how sneakerheads have closets full of shoes. I think he has a closet full of just the craziest, wildest clothes.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
And I would love just to look through that and ask him his process for just like picking out an outfit.
Right.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah, he probably has like a walking closet where you can just walk in for miles.
Yeah.
You know.
It's insane. I mean, online they call him a zaddy.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Zaddy?
Yeah.
What is a zaddy?
A zaddy is an older guy, sorry. A mature gentleman.
Like older than a daddy.
Yes. Or older than what would typically be a daddy. So
Okay.
a zaddy is
Right.
zaddy is an older guy who also has swag, because then everybody could be a zaddy just because you're an older guy.
Gotcha.
But you also have to have swag.
Okay.
And so because of the way that he dresses with flair, his hair is always, he's a silver fox. Because of all of that, like, he's considered a zaddy. He has a very strong Twitter following for that reason.
No, I never heard of that.
Yeah.
I liked his
I've
haircut.
never heard that saying either, and I know
I
all
did
the
like his
sayings.
haircut, though. The haircut looked great, guys, right? I mean, that was a good
Yeah,
one.
he looks
Yeah,
good.
he's-
He does
I
not
mean,
look his age.
he's
He's so
trendy.
much younger.
He's definitely trendy. I mean, yeah, thank you so much for your opinion. I really like both choices. I also thought about it for a second, and I also thought he's an actor, right? I mean, he does that for so many years. We know him. But I also would like to see a little bit more behind the scenes. Let's say someone is writing a script, for example, right?
Yeah.
And we just want to see the process. Okay, some of the big studios bought the script, for example. What kind of process is behind the scenes to get the script into a movie at the end?
Oh, yeah.
So I think that would be cool to see,
That
right?
would be
for a
cool.
lot of people, especially for us also living in Hollywood, living in LA, and really seeing it behind the scenes. Because a lot of people always talk about it. Someone brought a script and this guy just bought it, and then all of a sudden, boom, the movie just comes out, right? I mean, we know a little bit about it, but the little pieces I would like to see a little more.
Maybe they don't want to give away the secret.
Oh, guys,
We're all like,
I mean,
do it. We just want to
I
know
know.
how
I mean,
to put a script in.
we all have our secrets, but I mean, anyway. So yeah, please, we want to make it happen. Jeff, if you hear it, do it. Right? You know what I'm talking about. Just do
I don't
it.
think it's up to him. It's
Second
the
season.
producers.
Second season. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Anyway, guys,
Season 2.
it was a pleasure. Thank you so much for the first show, right? You did an amazing job. You look great, by the way.
You look great too. Thank you. You're
Are you trying to get us to
great
call you a
mediator.
zaddy? Is that what you're doing
Yeah.
right
Can
now?
you?
You're not old enough.
He's
boo.
not old
You're
enough.
not old enough.
I'm a jazzy man.
He's a daddy, but not quite.
I'm a jazzy. I call
What do you
myself
call a
jazzy.
younger
You call
daddy?
yourself a jazzy? Okay,
No, I do it
like
from now on.
I like it. Okay.
I'm a jazzy. Anyway,
Jazzy,
guys,
okay.
thank you so much. But before we end the show, where can everyone find you guys?
You can find me on Instagram at Maddie Pox. Thank you guys so much. This was so much fun. I can't wait for next week.
Yeah. And you can find me on Instagram and on Twitter at HostK.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Yeah, and you can find me also on Instagram and Facebook. It's Benjamin Schnau, Schnau, like the dog, as I'm always saying. And also doing the show, We Are the Wave, the German show on Netflix in German and English for you guys today. So check it out. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Joining us next week.
Thank you.
Our founder, Kevin Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.